What's up? Trippy. Turn a meeting. Here, that. All right, cool. All right, I'm scoped up. Just vibing tonight. I figured I'll do it live. Guess I need to turn this off in the background. One second. Let's go. See myself on YouTube. See what that looks like. Cool. I have to figure out how to get this chat pushed over. Anyway, maybe I'll jump in from time to time, and then when I do this, I gotta figure out how to get back to my main screen. Hmm. Where's the screen that I'm sharing? Here, is that right? I think so. Over here. Okay, cool. Well, I'm gonna just dive into this. I don't know. I'm not gonna be paying attention to see if there's anyone in the comments. Well, maybe I'll go back and forth, figure that out. But I want to look at this compost that I have here. Um, Completely loaded up. It's probably like in its third month, and this dilution rate is wild. This is I diluted by, if you could see me, yeah, you can see me. So I diluted here. So I diluted by like 8 or 9 here, and then I had to come over here and do another dilution, and still with that, look at it. So that's a dilution of 10. So this is almost a dilution of like 50. A dilution of like 50 on this compost. And look how wild and crazy it is. I'm at 40 time magnification. You can see how fulvic it is. You see that light brown tint that it has. I wonder if I could start modifying those things from here. Yeah, excuse me, but I'm learning how to use this software. A lot of nematodes in here. That's what I was coming in to see, what my nematode game looks like right now. But there's a whole lot of them. And again, remember that I'm diluted by like 50, roughly. Very hard to see at this dilution rate, but I just wanted to get in here, and there are things that I do. It's the end of the night. Just wanted to vibe, right? I need to get on the scope. It's been a long day, and it's kind of a wind down for me to come in here and take a look under the scope and see what's going on and get these things out of my mind that I definitely wanted to take a look at. Otherwise, I won't sleep. So we've got nematodes everywhere. This is organic matter. This is straight carbon. I mean, we're not going to see much sand at all. This is started off as a bokashi bucket, and then it goes into different protocols in my backyard to get it broken down, get it nutrient rich. I mean, I feed it. I should probably make a video on that. Would be a long video, man, if I sat here and went through this whole process. But look at how small I'm at. 100 time magnification here. And I still wanna very fulvic. I don't expect to see much fungi at this point. That's a nice piece of carbon. Let's hit that with the epi lamp. Let's see. I like to see here what is actually sticking at this point. What nutrients? Look at that. You see that thing? Can you see this? I wonder if you could see my mouse. I guess I would have to go to my YouTube channel here. Let me see. Let me do this real quick. Let me go here. Yeah, you can see the mouse. Cool. All right, I dig that. That's extremely helpful. That's a problem I had with the other software we were using out there with the yellow skunk. And I'm gonna pull this back up. All right, cool. So let's see. I'm at 100 time magnification. Let me dial back into the organic matter. I know there are nematodes. I'm not looking for nematodes. I do this, I'm not looking for anything in particular, just basically to see how it's decomposing and what things look like at this point. There's an arcella, which is really cool. And by the way, these things are indicators of pH for me. Matter of fact, let's test it with one of these cheapo strips. I can imagine that I'm probably going to be somewhere in the six-ish range. So dark it's. Let's see. Yeah, see, I'm kind of like in between 6 and 7. Good place to be. The idea though is controlling it from here. As everything becomes reductive, I mean oxidative, oxygen wants to take the energy, wants to kind of send things off into a misbalance, get that pH higher. And I want to fight to keep the pH low. And that seems to be the battle. That's what we deal with. And this starts becoming what your inputs, what you start putting in at this point. But there's still a lot of things here. Look at that thing. I mean, I don't even know what I'm looking at this point. It's pretty wild. That right there. What's up with that? Let's play with some lighting. I'm just vibing here, so I'm not on a special mission. I'm winding down for the day is what I'm doing, to be honest with you, if I'm being real. I'm gonna take this off and then let's throw some contrast up. Let's see. Brightness. I kind of like that better. I think, yeah, I kind of dig that. So we'll just get better. We'll get better at the scope, and this is how we're gonna do it. Tons of bacteria. At this point, I mean, we're just looking at an overhead shot. There's a test data mu. I'm just gonna go to 400. Let's go hang out at 400, and then here I'll have to adjust again. Brightness, bring that up. Contrast, pull that. I guess do this. This is interesting. Or maybe just default. Yeah, do it. Oh, that whole movement there is because it's a chunky slide, and my objective is touching the slide, which sucks. And imagine that's me diluting it by like 50. There's like some cellulose there, that spirally thing that's all decomposing. So a lot of just heavy bacteria. Predators are coming in. There's a flagellate right here. And as I slow down, you know what? I can't identify this thing right here. That's definitely something that's being decomposed, and I don't know what that is yet. But here you can see microbes. I'd have to reset my slide to get a thinner sample on here. But that there looks like a bug part. So this is what I do, this is how I monitor my compost. I go in there and I take a look. I see how it's progressing through the decomposing phase, and I see who shows up. That's got my interest there. I see what happens here when we do this, and then we can actually take that exposure off and let me mess with the brightness here. Pull that back. Right? That looks cool. Kind of settle things up. Look at the algae though. That's got to be algae glowing red like that. And I do use a lot of algae. We are in Florida. We're in peak. Well, not in peak, but we're getting our rainy season back now. But look at some of this. What is that? That's not algae. That's like some type of. Oh, let me go back to default here. Turn that off. Kill that. Nematodes do not like that. Now we couldn't even see a nematode in the background, but whatever that is right there is what was fluorescing red. So it's a type of mineral, some sort. That's interesting. Why it fluoresces red under epi and it's not algae. That is really interesting to me. Is that red or is that like an orange? I mean, do that again. Brightness. Like an orange, right? Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Go back to here. I keep forgetting. I normally don't mess with these things, so exposures and lighting and all that, but just making me better at this microscope thing. This is again 200. Let me kick it back to 100. It's a busy sample. It's too busy to go deep into these. Look at this thing. You can see structure, whatever that was. And that could be, you know, that looks like, man, that's cool. Let's go to 200 again. I can't stay. That could be like definitely part of like a vegetable or a fruit. And those are like the cell walls of it all. And in this case, I would say that it's more so a fruit or vegetable versus plant matter because I really don't think I have plant matter at this point in my in this particular compost. That is fungi growing, which is cool. Let me bring that back to 100. Ah, it sucks. I gotta figure that out. Let me go here. Here, I gotta close that. That happens when I switch too slowly. I gotta turn my camera off. I think I got that problem solved though. I ordered something for streaming since I want to start streaming more so that I can push the maximum resolution out and let's see what kind of quality we can get out of this stuff, you know what I mean? Let's back up. Let's back up. We should be back up. Go over here. And we should be up and going again. So 100 again. Let's see what else we find. Oh, I was looking at that hyphae. So that's early fungal hyphae at this stage in my compost at this point. I don't usually see it. That's why we don't see a lot of it. What is this? You see, I see this thing running in the background. I don't know what that is. Let's see if that fluoresces. I'm so tired of like, no matter how hard you try, you can't avoid plastics. I don't think that's plastic, but it already annoys me. The idea that it might be plastic, it's already ticking me off. There's some cool things glowing in here, though. Seeing this? Here, let's go back to this brightness and pull that back, and then pull this contrast up. Look at that. Like, what is up with that? Some things that it's so cool that there's always things that I haven't seen. Probably always will be, but whatever's in here right now, God, what did I put in here? That can be anything. This is new for me. These red minerals or whatever they are, fluorescing like that. I'm gonna go back to default here, go back to default here, and then look at them. They're minerals of some sort. And this particular tote bucket, this is in a 40-gallon. This is also partially one of my phase bins. Look at in here, we've got something deep moving over there. I don't know what it is. Yeah, so this phase compost, if you guys haven't seen the video on it, I would encourage you to go look at it because and while I'm talking, I'm gonna set up another slide. I'm gonna go thinner on the slide. So you see here, I'm gonna push air into this. Oh shit. My bad. Damn. Not even microbes are on my keyboard. I should I should put a sample. I mean, not that I've ever done that. I've never spilled anything here because I'm never showing it like that on video, but that'd be funny to run a swab on my keyboard. This room is filled with microbes. So here I'm probably gonna let some of that settle, which means I'm gonna surrender some of the nematodes to that organic matter that's settling. I'm okay with that. I just want to get a cleaner look. You see how clear that is? And that's why a lot of times I will set up a chunky slide, or sometimes I'll set it up chunkier on one side and then run a gradient kind of with the slide. But you always got to worry about the glass not sitting right on top, and then it gets difficult because I can't right now go to 400 on this slide because if you can see it, it's so thick. I wonder if you can see that. Yeah, it's not sitting correctly, so we don't get such a clear shot. Look at that corner piece, just there you go. You can see that there. That really kills the vibe when you're trying to get close to something. Versus this slide, we're completely flat. Completely flat. Now I can go in here and bang, we'll be able to zero in on stuff and see, whole different thing there. But again, I sacrifice nematodes, but I already know they're there. So I'll go chunky slide like that. But these are the things here. You see these things? I think these are the things fluorescing like that. Let's go. Let's take a look. Yep. Look how much nicer that looks too. Oh, watch how cool this is gonna look. Let's take this auto exposure back. Brightness we're gonna pull down. Wow. Dude, what did I put in here? Look at that. Hold on. Man, you should see that on the 4K. That looks crazy. That's at 100. I want to be able to push 200. What's happening there? Crazy, crazy compost, man. That is fire. I don't even know what it is, but it's fire. Phosphorus glows like that. But what is that red? Those red pebbles, minerals. What did I put? What madness did I get from Rick, probably, that is exciting this compost like that? That looks fantastic. Damn. That's like looking at another universe. Let me go to 40. That is a bubble there. Even that looks like a Death Star, but it's not. It's something in the background. But look how much of it is in here. I'm gonna have to really pay attention to this pile. It's 40. 40 got a little boring for me, but man, when we get close to that. Yeah, I am talking to myself. I'm jumping. I just jumped. You want me to send you I wonder if I could send you a link to jump into this Zoom. It's in the Discord. Yeah, it does look cool. I wonder if I can just put a link into the, hold on, let me see if I can invite people in to just drop a link in the chat. Pocket, let's go nuts. Let me see. I'm gonna go to Zoom. Well, here, where would I find that? Let me stop. I'm gonna stop sharing for a second. Stop sharing. Here we go. Copy. I'm gonna go back to share. Actually, I'm gonna go share this, that, share it, and then I'm gonna go here. Not plastic. Nope. No way. Here. For those that want to jump in, any of my viewers, anybody watching, feel free to jump in on this Zoom. I should be able to. Yeah, bring it in, man. Bring it in. Let's vibe it out here, dude. This is end of night for me. So I'm just chilling. But look at that. Look at that. It looks a lot of food scrap here. A lot of vegetables and fruit is what I was looking at here, which is dope. So I'm gonna, for now, I'm gonna just set everything back. Auto, default, default, turn the epi off. Keep looking at it. What's going on, David? What's happening, amigo? These are the things fluorescing right here. These, you're muted, bro. These minerals. Let me go to 200. See if we can get close to it. Yeah, that's what it is. That is some type of mineral. Let's do this again. Bang, bang. Yep.
I had to pause the
Okay,
YouTube
boring.
because the sound was going to be competing.
Oh yeah, I just mute the I had to mute it. Yeah, I was getting the same thing because I have it in the background. Yeah, so these are the things right here that are fluorescing. And they're actually fluorescing orange at 400. Trippy. That looks amazing though, right? I'm impressed with that.
I just came in and cleaned up a little bit and stuff. I've been dropping a tree. I've got going to be probably getting a root cellar slash storm cellar built, and the guy once said I'd save a lot of money if I drop the trees and clear the area before he gets here. So I'm using the backhoe to dig it out, push it over, and clean up afterwards.
Putting in work. Putting in work.
I'm trying to.
That's it. That's all we can do, man. I've had a pretty hectic day. I just unwind on the microscope. This is spore. Look at this testing here.
Yeah.
So this is pretty cool. It's got already a lot of life going on here, which I had to dilute this by 50. And there's still life here. There's a gang of nematodes. Let me check myself. A gang of nematodes at the bottom of this jar, but I didn't want to pull up the chunky stuff anymore. I don't know when you started watching, but um early on there's like 3, 4, 5 nematodes per field of view that settle to the bottom of the slide. That looks like a naked amoeba. I'm at 200. Oh, you got something to scope up?
Well, this is from one of our fields, and it was actually kind of hard with the shovel. I didn't have my soil probe with me. It was kind of hard, but once I put it in the bag, I mean, it's just real sandy, and I know that field to be pretty sandy. Got soybeans on it this year. They're not doing real great.
You
And
gonna
then
be
this is
amending it?
well, I mean, this is the farmer that leases our land from us is farming all of that. I just happen to be driving around seeing what he's got planted and stuff like that. Um, and then this is from the field that I took out of the lease. And I mean, it's just
You froze up, brother. There you
So,
go.
and then the microscope got down here is the one without the epi, but it does at least have a camera.
What kind of,
Oh,
whoa, look at that. Look at that, the big nematode. Let's take a look at this thing.
mouth
I
parts.
can't imagine anything other than bacterial feeder, bro, because this is, let me see on the 4K. That's a tough ID on that, dude. I can't make it out. Oh no. Wow, look what's happening here. You see, this thing is dead. But you see the microbes in here, just whatever it is, just digging into this thing inside of it. Oh, that's a predatorial. You see it?
Yeah,
See the mouth parts?
yeah. So I thought I saw some kind of a that bulb or whatever
No,
right there.
there's no dorsal bulb here, but you could see the indicators are going to be this kind of
The
more of
teeth,
a
teeth
a
looking.
flat
Yeah,
face, and then you can see the teeth on the outsides of that. If I had to classify that, I would call that a bacterial, I mean a nematode eater, a predator, true apex predator. He's not doing good. He's gone. You can see it getting, you see all, can you see that, right? All the bio in
yeah,
there just
yeah.
digging into it. It's really cool. Really cool. You're welcome to jump in on that link, man, if you want to join us. We're just vibing, we're just hanging.
I just saw you come on live.
Yeah, I've been messing around with the live thing. I'm trying to decide what I'm gonna if I'm gonna go with this software. I did a live with Yellow Skunk, and I have a little live podcast now on Thursdays, which is really cool. And I'm digging the software that we use for that. It's StreamYard, I think it is.
I think I
But
played with StreamYard once a couple of times. I know some other people that use it a lot because they can stream to multiple platforms at once.
which is great. You're right. If that's what you're looking to do, and in our case, he was streaming to his, and I was streaming to mine, and depending on the level of the plan, you can stream to up to eight is the one that we're using, eight different platforms, which is wild. A lot of streaming. So this is not looking bad, dude. This is part of my phase
Yeah,
with a mix of bokashi in it. It's coming along. I know we're near ready, but I like them seeing. Oh, I'm sorry. I like them seeing fungal activity already. Then it just kind of breathe out, do its thing. Let me know if you're gonna drop something on the mic, dude. I mean on the scope.
I'm working on it. I'm just,
Yeah, just let me know. I'll
uh,
just I'll just keep going and going. Just going and going, man. Uh-uh. Where you at again, David? You in Alabama? Arkansas. Wait,
Arkansas. Yeah,
Arkansas, that's right.
northeast Arkansas, and then I'm here on my little off-grid property.
Yeah. Love an off-grid property. Let me go back to that crazy looking and that.
Got a nematode there next to that dark spot at about 4 o'clock. Got a piece of organic material. Looks like a kind of a
Right
nematode.
here?
Yeah,
Yeah. Piece of an nematode or something. That looks cool. Let's
I
go
haven't
in a little
seen him move.
deeper. I don't see any movement on that either, but looks maybe not. It looks like
Maybe cut in half.
it's moving. Or is it the oh, look how much that's trippy. That I don't know if that's a nematode, man. That
Yeah,
looks like a part of something.
it kind of looks like the one end of it there for a second.
For sure that end of it, yeah, I agree. But look at the other side of that, and,
Yeah,
and And then I don't see the structures that you would see inside of it. I don't know. That's a tough call. That's a tough call. There's a lot of encysted microbes here too. There's fungi growing, so I've started the fungal growing process then, which is cool. Being that there was no mulch in this, there's no hardwood, there's no woods in this. It's all organic matter, raw, pure organic matter. This is why it's so hard to, it's just the whole thing went soluble in in the sample, you know what I mean? That thing hit water and it became mud. Cool with that. All day long. Here. What else? Oh, I was gonna go back to that. Put that out. Go to 100. Whoa, trippy. Start messing with all the lighting in this thing, and it's crazy. Brightness. Pull that back a little bit. I'm real curious what that red stuff is, man. That's look at that. Let me get that contrast. Contrast just a little bit. Saturation. All these controls I gotta learn how to use. Sweet. Cool. What do you got? Are you up?
Yeah, I'm kind of getting it centered and focused a little bit here.
Let's see what we're looking at. What do you think? It's gonna be dead?
Yeah, it's gonna be dead.
All
It's
right, so
because I mean it was the ground that I where I got it was between a couple of rows
yeah.
of beans. It was real light colored, sandy, in full sun, hot. I mean, it just I don't expect much of anything.
Okay.
Turn the light off so you can see a little better.
Let's see what you're looking at here. YouTube, YouTube, YouTube. Oh,
Um,
you're looking
turn
at
it.
me. There you go.
And this is the AmScope version of that BioVid camera.
That's the Amscope BioVid.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
the
cool.
branded version of it. So
Oh, really?
it's a few it's a few $100 less. But this
Okay.
one, I mean, it's very similar, but if you're capturing to the card, it's supposed to capture at 60 frames per second instead of 30. Um, but again, it's kind of a little bit less expensive than the BioVid. It's also got a little man, I keep turning the camera. And I mean, I've got it on the Omax that I got when I went through the Soul Food Web.
Okay.
So all I had to do was take the C mount, unscrew the C mount from the Omax camera, and it screwed right onto it, and we're just good to go. It's got a little USB thing, kind of like a cordless mouse. You've seen some of them that's got you got the little bitty USB, looks like a thumb drive, micro thumb drive or something.
Okay.
It's got that, and you put it in a certain slot, and then you've got the computer or Tote Max sees it as a USB connected camera, even though it's wireless. So instead of seeing it as a Bluetooth, it sees it as a wire. I don't know. It's kind of weird. I don't really know any advantage of it actually, but it was just something different because at first it's it was saying that it was wireless, and I thought, no, that would be cool, to literally have it wireless.
Dude, this
Uh,
sample's shot, bro. What is this again?
this is just sand from a conventional ag row crop field.
What are you gonna do with it? It's something you're gonna work or amend or add life to it?
I'm not doing, I mean, all we're doing to it is we're leasing it out to just a regular conventional farmer.
Oh, okay.
We've got about 900 acres. And when my dad retired, what he did is he just leased it to a conventional farmer. And so, I mean, they're all about, I mean, all he does is go back and forth between rice and beans and soybeans and, till and spray and fertilize, till and spray and fertilize. And if you don't get a good crop, then you get crop insurance.
What up? What up, skunk? I got the link to this Zoom there if you want to jump in for a little bit, man. We're just vibing, bro.
And so, I mean, this is at 40. So I didn't expect anything.
Yeah, it's looking shoddy, dude. It looks like my soil, my sand here before I started mending it.
Yeah, I mean, this is probably about a 40 acre, I'm guessing about a 40-acre field.
Yeah.
So, I mean, only thing that I would, even if I
Man.
had all the equipment and everything, considering he is actively farming it, I can't really interfere with what he's doing.
Yeah.
Um, we get cash rent off of it, but if I could sneak over there and do anything, it would be some kind of extracts or something living. But I don't know with all the chemicals and stuff they use whether it would have any real effect or not. Yeah, there's just nothing.
Yeah, there's nothing popping there. That's a good example of what.
Oh, if you want, I mean, this is outdoor, almost outdoor hydroponics. It's just a media for the roots to hold the plant up.
It's, that's wild. Are you at what are you at there? 400?
Yeah, I mean, there is bacteria, but
Yeah, yeah, that's and there's still I mean that's just amazing too how bacteria doesn't matter. I even some in my sand though it doesn't even have bacteria, man. It trips me out. Trips me out. Oh God, that is. I'm gonna drop some azolla on the slide, man. I've been having field days with this azolla, dude. Azolla's crazy. See if I can
and then
kind of microbes I can catch from.
got a little John Deere tractor I took that hadn't been ran and hardly any in the last, I don't know, almost 10 years. It was my dad's. So I finally took it up to the dealership and I knew there was two or three things wrong with it and said, just go through it because I'm going to start actually using it and I want to make sure I'm not going to blow something up because it's been
Right.
sitting so long.
Yeah.
It's going to be about $6,500 for the repairs, but it's what I got to do if I want to use it. Otherwise, it's a yard ornament.
Yeah, no, put that thing to work, man. That's a power crew there, bro.
It's about a 40 horse with a cab on it. So that's what I'm going to take to the 140-acre field and eventually be able to leave it there and going to use the drill on it, subsoiler and crimper when I can get everything over there. But yeah, this soil's not much.
Yeah, we're about to get crazy here. You gotta see these guys. There's these worms. Look at this. They're breeding in here. These are these worms, man. They breathe through that back end there. They're like
Yeah,
butt
you had these on the other day.
they're butt breeders. Yeah, they
Yeah.
look how they're reproducing like crazy in this little jar.
Have you
And
figured
then
out what they are? What the name?
yeah, I have to pull that slide up. I have the name on them, but they are huge. This is at 40 time
Yeah.
mag. I mean, these things
Do
I
they
can see them. I can see them on my slide with no problem.
do they eat bacteria and the protozoa and stuff or
Yeah, I guess so, dude. They're I haven't done all the I mean, I could pull a slide up on them, but information on them, but They are
I mean, they're big enough to eat some pretty big
massive.
stuff.
Yeah, they're massive. I could see them clearly on the slide.
Yeah,
They're
they can eat
probably
that.
this is probably if I had to classify it a centimeter or so. But now we're getting hot. Now we're cruising. Now I'm looking at
And a lot of people would see that and just knee jerk reaction, think, "Oh, I don't know what that is. It looks scary. Must be something bad. Let's kill it."
oh yeah. Yeah, well, they actually raise them for
Fish food.
fish. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
They'll raise them for fish. Or cool. I know how to do that now. Yeah, they'll raise them for fish. And this thing here, this is like some type of shell. Look at that. This no clue what kind of shell that is, but it's hairy. And then you've got paramecium in the background here. I mean, so yeah, whole different party here. Whole different party here. Let's light this up real quick. I gotta be careful. Those worms do not like that. Paramecium do not like that. That like just set the whole sample off.
It's so weird. Some of the stuff like that paramecium. I mean, I remember seeing those pictures of them, in school, in a science book or whatever, but never thought that I'd be almost 60 years old and be sitting there trying to look at stuff like this, actively trying to do it.
Yeah, well, if you hit them with the polar lenses, it's over, dude. You can see all the minerals that they have inside. Look, this thing actually breathes through its butt. That would be the back. This is the back end of it. It it pulls in water and pulls the oxygen out of the water. That's a very good shot of this thing too. Look at that. Wow. And then look at all the lipid packets in it. You see that?
Yeah.
Those are oil droplets, all those little round droplets. I know it's moving a lot. It's really hard to see them, but right there, you can see it. Look at that. Clearly see it pulling in water and then pulling oxygen out of the water, from what I understand.
So basically, some kind of gills or early gills.
No, no, that's just how it sucks everything in, and it actually poops out of there too.
Hmm.
Like you'll see organic matter, the stuff working its way down, but and they're very popular for they breed every couple days. They reproduce. So
Sexual, or do they bud, or is it?
yeah, they here. Let me show you something really cool. I'm gonna pull this thing up first. Let me go here, here. What is it called again? Oleforus. Yeah, here he is. See if I can open this right here. You got to do it. Get out of here. If I do that, then can I share something else? No, I'm gonna stop sharing here. Then I'll share here real quick. I gotta figure out how to do this where I can share this. So this is my little slide deck that I do for my students. And so it's called Allophorus for cactus, whatever that is. So freshwater worm. So I put together this whole thing. They can get up to 3 centimeters big. Uh, Asexual fission under favorable conditions. The crew multiplies by splitting every few days. This is an actual shot that I took of it. I don't know if you were there when we were looking at it. Yeah, you were. You just said that that night we were looking at it. Um, it's got the hairs, the anchor, and all that good stuff. So, but here it actually buries itself under organic matter, and it'll leave its ass end up and breathing. So it's working the soil and breathing at the same time, which is really cool. And then you get into street sweepers and the outputs, clean sediment energy reserves, triggers asexual fusion. So yeah, here it's kind of the decaying organic matter, microbes, and fine sediment to answer your question. So they're eating bacteria. I wonder if they eat ciliates. I don't think so though. Uh, detritivore diet. So yeah, detritus. They're just eating organic matter. Consumes waste. Dissolves oxygen. Yeah. healthy. Yeah, so definitely. And look, see here, it's good food for fish. And then the nutrient facts, it's 60% protein and then 11% fat, which you're seeing in the lipids that are in those. So
Well, and
that's
then when you've got my first thought, with what bit of a nursing education I've got, when I hear fat, I start thinking of different vitamins and things like that that are fat soluble versus water soluble.
yeah, yeah. Well, that's my thing there is like why aren't we feeding fat to our compost, like lipids and stuff like that? Like that's not usually something
Well,
that
because
I
when
hear
the
about.
extension service says you never put any kind of oils or fats in your compost.
Well, I disagree with that, man. I'm putting avocados in an oil and a fat.
Well, they say don't put meat in there either.
Well,
And
I don't
I
I
know
don't
people that do.
compost.
I
Yeah,
know people that
sure.
I know people that do whole cows, but their
Well,
compost pile's a little bit bigger than mine.
I guess if you ask it, like if you like if the worms eat it, right? If nature eats it, then I mean, how else does it get decomposed? What is this thing?
Well, you got to remember they're usually geared at little backyard home gardeners that
Yeah.
have like a tumbler is their size,
All right.
and it's like if you ask why you don't do the oils and the fats and the meat, it makes sense because they don't have a big enough and hot enough compost system to keep the smells down and to keep the rodents and the dogs and stuff like that out of it. So if you understand the why, and that's why it's always so important, to always ask why. That's what makes you curious, and that's how you learn. It's like, well, if you've got enough carbon in a big enough pile, then yeah, you can handle anything that will break down.
Look at this thing. Like a water flea or something. Oh, I thought that was a shell. That's not a shell. It looks like it is a shell, but I mean, I thought it was an egg. That last one we were looking at. That thing is trippy, dude. That's at
Body
100.
the
It's pretty
body of it
big.
looks like a chick.
It's like a water flea or something. Let's see. It's gonna. Well, look at this is an azolla leaf. Watch this. We're gonna see stemata for
Yeah,
whoever's watching. Look at stemata. You can see clearly stemata. You see the mouth? They look like little mouth parts. You see that?
yeah.
Well, I'm just kind of talking to YouTube. That is stemata. That's what that looks like. These little mouths that breathe in CO2 and then breathe out oxygen and moisture and whatever else they gotta breathe in and out. And then that red is all chlorophyll. We're just looking at chlorophyll. It's glowing. And this particular leaf has a relationship with cyanobacteria. It actually houses cyanobacteria in it, which is really awesome. That's why I grow it. I grow this over duckweed for those reasons. It's got Alabana cyanobacteria in it. A lot going on here. This has been some of the most entertaining ever since I started growing this. I mean, the microscopy on it is definitely next level. What the heck was that, dude? Damn, these things are dipping. And this thing, watch this. See if I can keep them on the. Look how their whiskers glow. Right now, I'm probably baking it on the slide. He's not happy. All right, that's gonna do her, brother. Give this live a wrap. I wanted to see what I saw.
You're
My
keeping you're keeping us jealous because I don't. None of my samples look anything like any of this.
Oh, well, just matter of playing and feeding. Look at that though, dude. I gotta get it closer on that. See these they move so much that it's hard to get a what a trippy shot. Look at they move. I mean, that's just nuts. It's on the edge of the slide. It's like I can grow these now and anybody who has fish. I'm literally growing these in the Azolla. And then here's the cool thing is that where do they come from? I was thinking this the other day. I ordered the azolla online, right, to make sure that I was getting a true azolla because they are native to Florida, right?
Yeah.
But I wanted to be sure that I had azolla and not duckweed. It came in a little bag, probably maybe a gram of azolla in there, 2 grams of azolla. Please don't let my street talk, you know. But it was somewhat dry, right? I put it in the water. I fed the water nitrogen. I mean, I fed it a blood meal, giving it nitrogen to give them their best shot to produce. And I put some of my compost in there. And sure enough, it took about 2 months, and I had maybe a 14-inch by 9 inch, like 3 inch deep, a little bin of it. And all of this life is in there. That's it. If I did that with compost and I don't introduce a Zola into the system, I will not see this. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, and if they reproduce by fission, then that means they don't have eggs, so it wouldn't have been eggs. So it would have had to been basically a dormant worm.
On a dried up Azolla,
Yeah,
that's crazy. I mean, look at the inside of this thing. It's just like I wasn't
looks
even sure it was going to survive, right? And
looks a
so they
looks a
were,
good example of peristalsis, basically.
wow, dude. And then look at this thing. It's just,
I mean, because that's the way your gut and everything does, as far as squeezing and moving things around. That's just peristalsis. That's a good example of it.
look, it's pooping. You see, now it's pooping. And still, look at that. And so it breathes and poops out of there. That's it. Imagine breathing and pooping out of your butt. That's my students ask that, dude. I'm telling you, man, they're the most creative. That was epic catching that. That was cool. The-
Well, your students are going to be able to come up with some really unique insults for other kids that have no
Watch
idea
it.
what they're saying.
Here comes yeah, right, exactly. He's moving, but here comes the next round of organic matter, which is gonna be the next question. It's processing organic matter, right? It
Right?
takes it in, and then look at it.
And
So
putting it in fat globules of some kind.
it's like making a nutrient. Is it you know what I mean? Like what's going on here? Because it comes out looking like organic matter, but is it more available? Is it got more nutrients to it when it comes out of its rear end there like that? Or is it taking the organic matter and extracting minerals and nutrients from the organic matter and then dishing out a lesser organic matter? You know what I mean? Because if it took in a piece of organic matter that's loaded with nutrients and it needs the nutrients to thrive and survive, so it's extracting nutrients in theory, right? This is all theory here, and then
Mhm.
here it is, pooping out the nutrient. And what's happening with the nutrient? Is the nutrient not as nutrient rich as it was beforehand? And is it coming out with even more stuff, like some of those fat lipids and stuff like that?
And what's the next thing that's eating that? Because I mean, something's
Uh,
going to be
well, that would be fungi, that would be microbes being able to harvest, but I wonder I wonder, these are just things I think about, right? That's a big that's a big turd there, man, of organic matter. And it's also moving organic matter when it does that, right? It's traveling at the rate that it's traveling and it's just moving around nutrients. So I've got a million questions, and it's just I don't got time to go do all the work, but that's look, there it is. And now you got this piece of organic matter that looks like it's rolled up.
this video sponsored by Charmin.
Yeah, and then, let's hit that real quick. Wonder there's algae in there, obviously. There's a little bit of everything in there. And then it's like you look at that and I would have never looked at that and said, "Oh, that's a piece of poop," right? Now at this point. So this is how you learn to identify. This is how I learn to identify stuff.
Yeah,
If I see organic matter in an aquatic system look like that, now I'm gonna tie it to these worms.
Yeah.
and say that's potentially a that's potentially a turd, right?
Yeah.
This is like what time is it? 11 o'clock here in Florida. There's got to be a time where I could start saying turd and all this stuff.
Mr. Hinky.
Look at that, dude. That's just that looks like that would be the front end of this thing too. Crazy, man. Just busy too. Look at it, just pushing everything through it. That's at 100, dude. I'm at 100. Let's go 200. Just 200 time magnification. I mean, we're in there. Completely trippy. These guys are fun to watch. You get these kind of samples and you get them in front of kids, man, and shit, adults, bro. But more so, kids they fall in love with this stuff.
Adults that have forgotten how to be a child, forgotten the wonder that they had as a child when everything was,
Well, think about this. Was this
yeah.
presented to you as a child? Not like this. You know what I mean?
Oh, heck no.
Right, not like this. So that there is that technology thing that we have the ability to really just
But I mean, I was a very curious kid. I mean, I don't remember not having a
yeah.
library. I've been especially when I was younger, I was just an absolute rabid reader. I think I read The Agony and the Ecstasy, which is about Michelangelo, his kind of biography. It took me 3 months to read that a chapter a night, and read that for fun. So
So look at that might. Look, so I just saw something that I didn't know really how to identify, but now I
yes,
can.
yeah, you got the legs there, the arachnoid
Oh
looking
no,
leg.
that's definitely a
Yeah,
mite. And it's gonna
yeah,
fluoresce orange. It's gonna be like an orangish green.
yeah,
There you go. See?
yeah.
But when you see these little hairs, and I'm sure I'll find that there's a rotifer there too, just hanging out, just kind of cruising around, dude. This is a whole world, man. It's like it is a straight up vibe, dude. And this is what's happening. Pretty nuts. Pretty nuts. I always see if I wonder what would happen if Skunk put some of this stuff in his pond. The fish will devour it. I think Cooter and Scooter would like destroy this shit before it even gets a chance to grow because I gave some to my sister to put in her pond. I mean, 60% protein, 11% fat. It is beneficial as all hell. And then if those worms are coming along with it, again, goldfish eat that and they would need time to establish. But he wouldn't have to worry about it. Look at that shell. You see that? That looks cool. Whatever that is right there. Looks pretty neat. It looks like a half of something, and the other half potentially right here. And there's another one over here. Whatever's hatching. Maybe might be worms. Maybe these are the worm eggs. Because they are big worms. I mean, then should they start out small, but oh no, they don't. They're not worm eggs. They split. So whatever it is, so we need to find these worms splitting. See, here's what I was talking about. You see this thing here?
Yeah,
This little V-shaped thing here?
yeah.
That's a mite. That looks like pieces of a mite. At least I have a better direction as to where to think that through. Look at that fungal hyphae growing. So this is another thing I'm beefing about. This is aquatic fungal hyphae. It's growing in an aquatic system. And by the way, I can't get AMF, arbuscular mycorrhizal fungi, to take to azolla roots because these little leaves sit on top of water. They shoot down a little root and they're not, they're nitrogen fixers. They're beneficial. They're just so beneficial, but they're extremely aggressive. So when people grow them in lakes that may not have animals that would eat them, like ducks or whatever, then they start getting overwhelmed. But everything here is edible to fish. Fish eat the rotifers. Look at that rotifer going for it. That's just the corona. That's what's called that mouth, that those mouth parts that open up like that. But everything here is edible to fish. Paramecium are grown for fish. Rotifers are grown for fish. These worms are grown for fish. Azolla are grown for fish. And I bet you that has turtles involved, shrimp, all that stuff that Skunk has in his pond. That would be interesting. I mean, look at this thing. I gotta do more research on these things. It's just shredders, bro. Look at them. So much happening here at 200. And this water is no deeper than 3, 4 inches. I managed it at 3 or 4 inches. Look at this guy. All right, so I'll tell you something, David. This paramecium,
Yeah.
I think, get affected by these hairs. I think they get stunned by these hairs. Watch. And they get magnetically get stuck to them too. Watch it. Oh, he got away. It's almost like magnetic. I have several videos of that. And if we're doing this, well, let's see if I can pull this off without losing this guy. Uh, ah, that's not gonna happen, is it? Oh, there he is. Yeah. Let's go here. Nope. Let's go here. Oh, 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 look at that thing. I gotta flip this though. Oh, sweat. I'm just gonna do it. Whoever gets lost gets lost. I'm putting the polarized film on it. Watch it. Crazy. Now we just entered another universe. So why is the outside of this thing fluorescing like that? The minerals, this exposes minerals. Where's that paramecium? Look at this thing. What, dude? Are you kidding me? No way. Wow. Looks like a firefly. What's up with that, dude? He's looking at that. Yeah.
Yeah. It looks like something from a sci-fi show.
This is like I gotta make an ASMR video of this kind of stuff. Just let it play. Look at this, like these shells that are opening up. Completely trippy. This is why I came in here to look at my compost, and I'll spend like an hour or two doing this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Wow, that's insane. That looks so cool. I wish they would stay still. That's why I'm gonna start using these techniques. I'm learning another microscopy technique here soon. I'm gonna start implementing where I'm gonna pin them to the top of the slide. Look at that though. Look at it's got like horns, you know what I mean? It's like Loki. You know what I mean? Is that Loki from Avengers, right?
Yeah. If you ever get a chance, though, send me your mailing address, either through Discourse or something like that, and I'll send you one of those mouse pads I got. They're pretty actually they're pretty big mouse pads. I didn't realize how big they were, but um, I'll send you one.
What are they?
It's the ones that has the picture of the microscope on it. It says, "I'll show you mine if you're showing me yours."
Oh yeah. Are you selling those?
Not selling now. I just had some made, and
Oh yeah.
I thought it was funny, and I wanted to
Yeah.
share with some people. I sent one to
That's cool.
Matt, so it hadn't got to him yet, but I
Uh,
to him
heck yeah.
just for fun.
Yeah. Hell yeah. That's wild, man. Just blown. I'm so blown away by this stuff, dude. This is like,
It's weird. I mean, it's hard. I'm guessing all that stuff moving is inside it. Yeah, because I mean, it's not necessarily like legs or whatever on the outside, so it's got
yeah, it's just got
something
this.
really moving inside.
It's kind of like it's got a box around it, clear
Yeah.
box, or it's not
Oh,
even, doesn't even look structural. It doesn't look like it's on there. It looks like it's barely hanging on. But
Like you said, it may be some kind of a shell, just a transparent shell.
There's a lot of them too. Again, they all this came from some dried.
Okay, so yeah, he opens the shell and then there's like some little legs or
Oh no,
feelers.
yeah, yeah, for sure. It
Yeah.
opens that up, and then
And then
there's a
kind of
whole lot
reaches in
going
and
on in there
grabs stuff and
too.
brings it in and shreds it or manipulates it in some way.
And then look at all the different colors. So what, I mean, like, what is that shell made of? You know what I mean? That's
Yeah.
fluorescing like that. I could tell you what I've seen fluoresce like that is quartz. I'm not saying it's made of quartz, but maybe silica. Silica would fluoresce like that. You know what I mean? Like sand particles can potentially. It's wild.
Yes. That little one's gonna act like he's in the Dune movie trying to ride a worm.
That's nuts. Nuts. Yeah, it's wild. Pull that off. Look at that. It's a piece of leaf. And by the way, this is I've run extractions on this stuff too. Look at the size of that. That looks like a mite. Yup. Let's verify that. Wow, dude. You can see the orange leg. The legs are orange for some reason on whatever type of bug that is. The legs are usually always orange. And that's, you see, I'll go to like Skunk's Pond. That would make sense, dude. When I see these things in Josh's pond, we're seeing the legs, and the legs are fluorescing orange, which means that obviously the chunky part would be the body of this mite that a shrimp would eat or that something else would eat, right? Not necessarily the legs. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So the more aquatic samples, crazy.
I've still got that time lapse camera. I'm hoping it's still running. Looking at those Winogradski columns that I've
Oh yeah, how's that coming along?
well,
I got
I haven't pulled the card in the last couple of weeks. I hope it's still running.
yeah,
Uh,
yeah. I got a couple out there
Yep,
going
see
right
that shell
now.
open up.
Yeah, no, they definitely open the shell
Yeah,
up and
grab something.
looks like a skull in there. You see that? Not anymore, but is that an eye? Is that an eye? Crazy. Let's see what's up here. Bitch, run. That's dude. It's got cilia all over it, and it opens up like a crab, like a,
Like
a
crustacean
hermit
of some
crab
kind,
or something. And
like
then
a
what is
mic.
it? It's feeding off of everything running on the edge. Watch right here. It's probably gonna reach for that. See that? Oh no. I don't
Yeah,
know. Crazy.
some kind of micro crustacean.
Yeah. You watch long enough. Look at what's that moving in the background there? Oh, there's something here. Wait. No. Okay, that was just motion. Well, I'll tell you what, brother. I'm gonna call it a night. I can go to sleep in peace. I saw my compost. I sat here for 10 minutes and I've been here. That's how we roll, dude. I walk away
Yeah,
smarter though, able to identify more stuff.
you're seeing stuff that a lot of so-called educated people have no idea exist.
Lush greens. It's pretty interesting. If I had a microscope and zone in, I don't know, checking stuff out. Yeah, man, for sure, dude. We've got a Zoom link right up there if you want to dive in real quick before we wrap it up. Get a meet and greet going up in here. We've been jamming for a little bit, but this is an azolla sample. I'm glad I just jumped over to the. I wish I could bring my um comment section over to Zoom, but
You remember how people used to have LAN parties for video gaming?
yeah. Oh yeah.
You need to have a microscopy party where everybody meets at some one place or whatever, like a
Well,
convention center.
don't, oh yeah, yeah. Well, we do that on Zoom.
Yeah, yeah.
It's eating the worm poop. Yeah, that's a good point. Eating the worm poop. We've got, I don't know how long you've been here, but we saw worm pooping out some serious stuff. I don't even know if I'm just talking now. Not
Yeah,
even.
and the all the little spiky things on that worm. I mean, if it's a detritivore, it's not going to use that for hunting, so it's either going to be sensory or it's going to be defensive.
It anchors to organic matter, and it doesn't it can't even pierce through a paramecium. So it looks a lot tougher than what it is. But those things, if I go share that again, let's see where am I at. Oh, I'll stop sharing here. Share. We'll open this. Open that. Oh, those get confusing when I'm half out of it. Back over here. I guess. Oh no, not there. Here. Share this real quick. Let's take one more look at it. What were we asking? What were you saying?
I was just thinking about those little hairs. You're talking about
Oh,
at one point it looked
yeah.
like it was like stunning the paramecium, which if it was stunning it, that would normally make me think, that it's a predator and that's one of the ways that it feeds. But if it's a detritivore, then
No,
it's going to
yeah,
hunt.
but it wasn't stabbing through it. So here it's called the
Yeah.
setae, bristles, anchoring gear. Bristles like setae provide grip and mobility in thick sediment.
Strictly
That
for movement, no evidence they puncture organ. So I didn't know if it was going to be for sensory or defense
I'm
or
sure
is it?
there's a sensory thing to it, right? Just
Yeah,
because we know what we know doesn't mean we know everything. There's got to be a
right.
sensory to it. It's connected to its body. It's sure it's getting a feel for everything,
Yeah,
and that would make perfect sense. I mean, it's wow. That's kind of like a cat with whiskers, dude. It knows what it
right.
can fit through and look a lot deeper than we think we know. You know what I mean? It's a problem with us, bros. Our human race, we get too arrogant. We think we know it all, and it's just what it is. But is that the camera there? I like that,
Yeah,
dude. I dig it.
yeah. And I mean,
You're
it
happy?
just,
You're happy with it then?
I'm playing with it. I need a longer HDMI cord.
Yeah,
Because just like I got on my other computer, I go directly into the capture card that
sure.
that I put in the computers. So it's a true HDMI capture card in the back of it. I need a longer one. Um, but yeah, I just need to play with it some more. But I mean, it's just on that plain little Omax that I probably had for 8 years from the Soil Food Web days.
Good deal. I'm gonna go ahead and end the live stream, and
Cool.
I mean, it'll still this will be on, but